Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a grand solar minimum update Friday, September 27th, 1 a.m. Mountain Time 2019. The snow falling, according to the GFS model in your near future, will be record-breaking. And we're talking the next 5 days. Not only that, Shevelush has exploded to 28,000 feet. Now, we predicted 5 days ago that Shevelush was in an uptick cycle, starting with 12,000, erupting to 14, then 16,000, and even 18,000 feet, capping off at 23,000 just 3 days ago. And now we're at 28,000 feet, almost 5 miles high, and nearly touching the stratosphere. Keep calm. It's boom time. You've come to the right place. Before we begin, let's start with the facts.
Craig Kelly, thank you so much for joining me. Now, the Prime Minister has said that children like Greta Thunberg, who think that the end of the world is coming, they'll be wiped out, should get a different perspective. But why isn't the government offering that different perspective with different facts that these children might not know?
Well, Andrew, I think the events that we've seen over the past week changed the game. We've had those protests here in the streets, children completely brainwashed, just saying what is the exact opposite of the truth. We've had reports of women having abortions, supposedly because of fears of climate change, women not having children. We saw that poor young Greta Thunberg, the distress that she was under there in the UN, all because of lies that are being peddled. Now, I think we've really got to take a hold of this as government, and we've got to get out there and get on the front foot and tell the truth, because the truth rebuts every single one of these alarmist lies that they carry on. Every single thing they tell you, from more fires to more deaths to polar bears drowning, when you look at the evidence and the peer-reviewed science, it tells the exact opposite of what's being peddled, in many cases, in the mainstream media.
I concur. What say you? Ho, ho, ho. Real quick, I need to bookmark this just to make my life easier. So we're going to bookmark, open pages, and just say boom. Yeah, we got to do that. Now, global warming is listed below many of our videos, which is the false claim that you're burning up. And we're going to get to the facts as we move through the forecast today, as well as the scientific interpretation, if you stick with us. Historic snowstorm may bring blizzard conditions to Montana, several feet of snow to the mountains. The mainstream is reporting on a heat wave, but we've picked this up. Current temperatures are as low as 41 degrees in Missoula, and it's going to be a Tula. The first day of fall may have just been on Monday, but winter is already well on its way to the Northern Rockies, where a potentially historic winter storm is setting up for the weekend, which could be a schmeekend. The National Weather Service Prediction Center said an upper low pressure system dropping into the Pacific Northwest late Friday could bring snow to Spokane. We'll get to that. Yeah. It's forecast to bring what is expected to become a significant and possibly historic storm, cutting power lines and taking names. Early season snowstorm across portions of the Northern Rockies. And snow moves into the Cascades, which are not the Rockies, as Arctic Express arrives in western Washington, where the hub of the unrest and the leftists and the global warming alarmists live. So there could be, they could really be. After rumblings possible of a Mount Rainier Paradise Peak eruption, it looks like the weekend will see it appear elsewhere across Washington state as well. Yeah. Not only Rainier is going to be covered, but you're going to be covered as well. If you live in Western Washington, you might want to check that your heating system still works. If you live in Eastern Washington on the slopes of the Cascades, you might want to make sure that you have a snow shovel. University of Washington climate scientist Cliff Masson said Thursday's blog post. That's backed up by science and reporting from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and the National Weather Service for the first time ever, which calls for 2 to 3 inches of Global warming goodness at White Pass, Stevens Pass, and Hurricane Ridge. Under an inch could happen at Snoqualmie, and that will be no problem. But if you're picking up or putting down low snow levels in the mountains this weekend, and it's only fall. But I digress. Southwest Colorado is getting hotter, experts say. That's where I live. It's where I moved 5 years ago. Rising temperatures mean less groundwater and changing plants. Now, if you want to know the facts, Leah and I have been recording them every single day for the last 5 years since we've got here. We have moving charts and frost graphs and freeze warnings. We've collected every single data point along the way. And our data shows a cooling over the last 5 years. So I don't know where they're getting their information from. And we've just had 4 freezes before fall. So, and we've never seen that in the last 5 years. Many people in Southwest Colorado are so stricken by the leftist agenda that they'll believe anything in the San Juan Mountains. But anything is further from the truth. Remember, whatever they report on is the exact opposite. And they're basing this information on anecdotal evidence. So let me just come over here because I want you to see this. So we're going to reopen the closed tab. We're teaching you how to use the computer, by the way. Many of you don't even know how to right click or left click. So we're helping you along the way. Now, according to this sharticle, capital S, Southwest Colorado is hotter than it once was. Yeah. And they're reporting since the mini ice age that it's hotter now. Because you come down here, it says 1895. I hope you can see this. They won't let me click on it. See that? 1895 right here. I'm going to hover under it. Colorado is hotter since the last time it was the coldest. Yes, you're right. You win. You win, the Times River. But you obfuscate from the truth. Southwest Colorado is hotter than it once was. And experts say that they have the data. We have the documents. And anecdotal evidence proves this. Anecdotal evidence proves it. Do you see this? Anecdotal evidence proves it. Okay, let's work with that. Anecdotal, not necessarily true or reliable. Because based on personal accounts rather than facts or research. Okay, yeah. Disregard. Snow warnings issued across Montana and the Rocky Mountains. These are facts, not anecdotal. The facts are that 50 to 100 inches of snow are going to be in this fucking pink region. Holy pink stink. Do you got a double finger in the tinger? Historically significant blizzard forecast to strike Rockies in Montana, right up there. Idaho this weekend. Wow. I hope I don't live in any of those states because, well, Great Falls, Montana, a significant winter storm will blast through in the northern Rocky Mountains this weekend. This has the potential to be historically significant early snow event. Even though Al Gore said we would never see snow and the ice caps would melt 5 years ago, the National Weather Service in Great Falls, Montana is actually reporting on facts. A cold front with strong winds near record cold air will move through Idaho and Montana on Friday, making Al Gore go deeper into his hole and to confer with his friends over at Schmichter.Fligming. Yeah, Schneider.Fligming. Steiner, Kilbrigg. Du hast ein kleines Schneewutzen. With unseasonably cold air already in place, Wet, heavy snow will likely bury Al Gore and suffocate him in the valleys to the mountaintops. Holy shit. Why is this significantly important? Because 6 weeks before the average snowpack, we have a data point. The total snow mass for the northern hemisphere, excluding the mountains, is now picking up what we're putting down. And we're going to continue to follow that data point because we rely on data, which are the facts. Mother Nature blows Cape Elizabeth strawberry lovers a raspberry. And they can't even harvest a raspberry or a strawberry for that matter. Cape Farm Alliance will host its 11th Strawberry Festival at Maxwell's Farm on Saturday. Yet farms all across the town don't have any strawberries. So this festival will be called the Strawberry-less Festival to remember. Yes, a September to remember in Cape Elizabeth. A heck of a year makes Maine blueberries late, as well as the Pacific Northwest and other regions. It's not just in Maine. It's insane. But it's a good crop, just late, unless they get a frost and they're completely. GFS models showing heavy snow in the Northwest, moving to the eastern area, and then maybe even my region by the 13th of October. But in the next 5 days, you best beware and don't be square of the totals that will be accumulating quickly. By October 1st, which is just 5 days out, we're looking at 3 to 4 feet of snow in most of the regions through southern Canada. Take a look at Montana. It's insane. I can't even believe what these people are going to deal with. And if you're in northwestern Wyoming, you're not out of the woods. And we're just sounding right now. Oh my God, look at the graphs. You're going to pick up some flurries and some heavy snow in Oregon and Washington, but some flurries in northern Sierras. I can't even think what you're thinking in Oregon and Washington when this is over. It will be a Delaware plover. Not only that, it's going to build and continue to build. Like a shelf. Wintry blasts are normal spring weather, according to the mainstream media now. When we would never see snow before. At the end of summer, you should expect snow in New Zealand. So much for spring is a comment we get each time as a cold blast comes to spring in New Zealand. But it's spring, not summer, says Weather Watch New Zealand. According to Al Gore, we should never see snow, but we're now seeing snow, and winter slowly fading away is what spring means, according to us now. It means that it's supposed to snow in spring as it comes to summer, and it's going to be totally a bummer. Alaska's sea ice completely melted earlier than ever before, according to the Truth, or whatever the fuck this is, Truth Out. No, it didn't. In fact, the links you gave show no evidence of this information at all, Truth Out. You're the loser out. You're the disinformation candidate of the century, and you're the first boom of the day because you're the boom loser. Keep calm. Alaska's sea ice is not completely melting earlier than ever before. In fact, if you go back to Alaska's sea ice has completely melted away, it doesn't ever say that, which is what they claim their argument on. It says that it melted completely away, which happens every 30 to 60 in years. This has happened again and again and again. It's called an oceanic cycle. The AMO, the PDO, they replicate 30 to 60 year cycle patterns. I'm getting heated because I'm a paleoclimatologist and I know the science, and I know that the mainstream is perpetrating a lie on the masses, which can kiss my glasses. Timeline Middle Ages through blah, blah, 1300 to present. Just click on the time. If you want to know what's going on, 1300, click on it. 1347, what happened with the Black Death? Holy sh! I'll click on that. Let me get, look, there's a graph for 1347. What the? Yeah, keep going. Keep calm. It's information time. 1492. This is when we bring the disease, and we killed hundreds of millions of people. 1492 was the end of the beginning. The Little Ice Age, 1600. Come check it out. You want to know what happened during the Maunder Minimum? Click on that. And we even have a click for you on 1661, the pamphlet to describe air pollution. We've known about this forever. We've done nothing about it. Heads up, we want to control your ass. Istanbul earthquake, magnitude 5.8 hits Turkey just moments ago. Holy macaroni. I think I might need to switch this building. That was it. That's all you got. Seismic update. Many quakes of note, including the 6.1 in Argentina, which affected nobody. But let's just look at the dots. Holy schmackaroli. Yeah, the New Madrid's moving. Quake of note here is the 4.2 in Laird, Scranton, Canada. Hey, Laird, we love you. It's boom time. Seismic update, Shevelush volcano exploding to 28,000 feet, just meters below the stratosphere. Worldwide volcano news update, everything is exploding. There's Shevelush. Hey, I need to end this video because I have to go to sleep. But if you're one of the millions of people that are partners or support or are married to people that vape, and you're people that have been vaping for 5 years or longer, you know that vaping is safe. What is not safe is illegal vapes that contain THC that have been consumed worldwide by the millions. And because cannabis is illegal, this is what has happened. Hundreds will die. Over 5,000 will be dead in the end from this vitamin E influx into the vape industry. The illegal THC vape cartridge industry. It has nothing to do with Juul or any of the main vaping industry. Vaping is safe. It's 95% safer than any other form of smoking. It's almost like breathing. But what people are doing, like corporations are doing, is killing you. But the small man is now allowed to capitalize on the THC market, and he's making his own THC vapes, and he is thinning them with shit, just like crack cocaine. And it's killing people. Vitamin E, when you vaporize it, is deadly. It harms your lungs in a way that's irreparable. It means you die. Your lungs get damaged and you can't breathe and you die. Do not buy illegal vapes from anyone. Please, unless they're from me. Buy a vape from a legal state. It's 100% THC. There's no additives. It's pure plant product. Oh! You're buying frauds and you're killing yourself. And you're allowing these multinational corporations to capitalize on the situation. Let's learn about the facts. Please. Please do a dab.
Production.
Follow the money. Follow the fucking money.
So now that we know how the Master Settlement Agreement works, let's talk about how it goes hand in hand with vaping. San Francisco, California was the first US city to ban the sale of vape products, and New York actually became the first state to ban them across the whole state. Now that's interesting considering they have the highest population and receive the biggest payments from the MSA. In 2018 alone, California received an MSA payment of $876 million, and New York just behind, coming in at $650 $50 million. And keep in mind, that's just for 2018. Smoking rates are declining rapidly while vaping rates are at an all-time high. Now, the only issue here is that vaping products are not under the MSA, meaning that many states are losing a lot of money. And the way the politicians are looking at it, it's the vaping market that's taking away their funds. Also, one big kicker here is that our good friends over at Truth Initiative, who are also the people behind Truth Orange, were funded and created by MSA money. I find it interesting, however, that looking at the Truth webpage here, it's pretty much all about vaping, with only a handful of information regarding cigarettes. So, in short, these states are losing a ton of money and they're putting vaping right in their sights. So these states decided that their main options are A, ban vape sales so people will go back to smoking and their pockets get some more money, or B, classify vape products as a tobacco product so they can add a higher tax on them and they would fall under the MSA, which would also be getting them more money. Their main argument right now is that if vaping fell under the MSA, all the money that they would receive would help curb youth vaping. This is probably why all the anti-vaping campaigns rely heavily on putting kids in their ads, with claims stating that flavors are marketed towards kids.
They always give us a commercial where it gets important. Total bullshit. Vaping is safe. It's been going on for over a decade, and there has been no adverse effects until the covert THC vaping market has been gung-ho in full swing. And what I mean by that is that THC derivatives, what you do is you can break down the plant product pretty quickly into 100% plant oil, but they want to thin it. Just like crack cocaine back in the 80s, they're thinning this THC in illegal states, which is why THC should be legal everywhere in the continent and worldwide so that no one would be harmed. And so these people in the illegal THC cartridge markets, they're adding things like vitamin E because it looks like THC oil. So you think you're buying the real thing, and you're vaporizing yourself to death within a matter of a week. It just takes one night. As soon as you put that cartridge in and you suck it down that night, you're dead. You've destroyed all the villi and all of the oxygen controlling mechanisms in your lung, and you're dead because you should not be inhaling. Anyway, please move to Colorado. That's all I have to say. And if you want to know where Al Gore has been, watch my newest video, for fucking God's sake. Al Gore is a fraud. Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you an Al Gore update. Many people have been asking me over the past few months, where has Al Gore been? Well, you can remember back in 2008, Al Gore claiming the polarized cap will disappear in 5 years, and 5 years later, the ice cap was bigger than ever. Well, I found Al. There he is. No, he's actually an advisor at Kleiner Perkins, along with Colin Powell and a bunch of other fuckers that are trying to profit off of fear. Now, Climate Hustler, we're getting a commercial on our own video. And partner at Beyond Meat. This? Thank you, powers that be. Giant planet found circling tiny red dwarf star. You know what this means? It doesn't mean blackface or whatever the shit that fuck was saying. Wow, what was that? It means that cosmology is dead. Our current understanding of the cosmological constant, the universe, and everything else, including the accretion of planets and all that bullshit, it's all wrong. According to researchers who published their work on Thursday in the Journal of Science, finding a gas giant near such a tiny star could force astronomers to rethink how planets are formed. My God. Thank you to each and every one of you that has supported Matt Powers and his Permaculture Soil Science and Solutions Initiative. We're not going to get to 50 grand, so he won't come here. But if we get to 30 grand, I will drop $1,000 and buy him round trip tickets. Here. If we get to 30,000 in 12 days, I'm going to dip into my pocket. And we're going to have a whole series of permaculture videos for free that you don't even have to pay for. Donate $100, get him up there, and let's get him out here. Come on, you bricks. Stop being such a tightwad. Tuesday, October 1st. Adam Kokesh and Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project will converse. And we will discuss a finally free America. Free of corporatocracy, free of government control, and free to do whatever we want. As everything will collapse, we'll be ahead of the game because we will be relying locally on what we need to do to prepare and survive in the future. Are you ready? I doubt it. It's boom time, kids. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Did you plant seeds this summer? Was your yield a bummer? Why aren't you clicking and donating even $1 to Matt Powers? The future is yours. The information is available. How about this? Once Matt Powers Kickstarter ends, ours will begin 15 days from now. We're talking a 10-week course on paleoclimatology. Would you like to be informed? Would you like to stick your foot up the global warming arses? Would you like to teach the masses how to not be scared but be prepared for what's coming? The future is not bleak. It is bright for many that know how to capitalize on it. I just revealed to you how the globalists are capitalizing on the lies. Why don't you and I capitalize on the facts in the future? Join us. Tuesday for the presidency that will never be, but the facts that should be. Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance. If you haven't learned how to fail at farming, you should be farming in the future. We have a few years to get it together. We need to work together to succeed. The only way to succeed in the future is to fail now. What are your preps? Do you have long-term food storage? Do you know how to grow food? Do you know where wild edibles are? Do you have weapons? Do you know how to shoot a gun? Oh, the future is going to be fun.